All right. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Sustainable engineering. It's Thursday, so I think in Blackboard, I had this lecture coming up on Wednesday. And I'm going to try and make new lectures for the course, not rely on the old ones. So I'm thinking Thursday might be a better window of time for me to produce the lectures and get them up and schedule them. So probably not Wednesdays, probably Thursdays. So, all right. Let's get going. I'm going to pop back and forth between me and a PowerPoint. I'm not a big PowerPoint guy. I'll post up the PowerPoint that I use so you can look through it if you want. But I'm just going to kind of pick and choose what I want to talk about in the PowerPoint and kind of lead you to what you're going to work on over the weekend or what you're currently working on. So, all right, I'm going to change the share. All right, this is the class and the outcomes that we hope to get through. We're kind of currently working on sustainability and our present situation with a sustainable environment as it relates to engineering. So I'm going to try and focus everything back to engineering. So we're going to describe sustainability. We'll do that a little bit right now. And you're doing that online a little bit. You're doing some research. You're watching the MSU video, and then you're going to find another video. There's lots of definitions of sustainability out there, and I'll give you mine in a little bit. Then we'll go into life cycle analysis. We're going to understand the major renewable energy options. So wind and solar and hydro and geothermal and wave. We'll go through each of those. We will briefly touch on LEED. We will describe a sustainable community. You'll actually design one for me. And we'll play with the Revit software. So since we're completely online, I don't know how much of that we'll get to do, but it has a really great energy analysis function. So anybody know what this is? I'm going to give you just a second. You can pause the video and just look at it and think about it for a second if you'd like. This is my favorite graph ever. Well, one of my favorite graphs ever. All right, since you unpaused now, this is a graph of petroleum consumption. So you can think of it as fuel, gas, if you want, coal, all of the petroleum-based products. We discovered petroleum here. Notice that the scale is pretty big. This is the year 1000. This is the year 2000. We're in 2023, which, you know, since this is 2500, 2023 is really in here close to 2000. But it is not that long ago that we discovered petroleum. We found it in the ground and we learned that it burned incredibly well. Our consumption from that point has skyrocketed and it actually peaked and then it dropped and then it is peaking again. And then the rest of this graph from 2023 on is speculation. The speculation is we'll keep consuming until it's gone. So the folks here in 2500, right here in the year 2500, will look back at us and say, wow, those people consumed. They found a product that was phenomenal in energy storage. And it is. Petroleum is phenomenal. It has an incredible amount of energy per mass in its capability. Incredible. And we're going to just consume it up. And all of the generations past, you know, maybe what, 100 in here somewhere, 200, something like that. This is 500. This is 250. This is 200 maybe, right? It'll be gone. It'll be absolutely gone. And all of these folks will look back at us and say, whew, man, they were some consumers. And all of these folks, if they could look forward, they would think, wow, Glad we didn't have that. Anyway, it's a great graph. All right, here we are. Here's our sun. Yep. And where are the aliens? Who knows? So one of the reasons I show this, there's a couple schools of thoughts out there. There's the school of thought that we are alone, that we are the only inhabitants anywhere. There is no other planet that can support our kind of life. There is nowhere else to go. That's it. If you believe that, then the planet would become an enormous priority. If you believe there's aliens out there and other places to go, then you might be like, if we destroy this planet, whatever, right? We'll move on at some point. We will get that capability. So anyway, I'd like to show this and just throw those two schools of thought out there. Here is our electric grid at night. Phenomenal how much energy we are consuming and at what rate. It is incredible. So we have tipping points. These are the tipping points from 2010. They've not really been updated a whole lot. There is climate change going on. We have biodiversity loss. We have a nitrogen cycle that's a bit out of control. We have a phosphorus cycle that is also a bit out of control. We have climate change. That's a fact, right? We have melting glaciers and we have rising seawaters and rising sea temperatures, right? We have land use issues. We are losing our ability to grow food, agriculture. We have ecosystems that have failed. And we do have some carbon dioxide escapes. So we have ocean acidification going on. It's a very big problem. We have freshwater use problem, not in our area, but we will be the location of the Great Migration. So folks will migrate to our area because we have a lot of water. We are spoiled with water. And we have some ozone problems going on. So all of those are just facts. Due to climate change, yes. Whether it's human induced or not is the question, right? It can be human, not solved, but it can be human controlled if we choose to. All right, so let's do sustainability. So I'm going to go back to myself just for this because this is my own version of sustainability. All right, so here's my little snapshot of sustainability for me. Let's say you're going to go camping. And you could go car camping, but let's say we're gonna kind of step it up and we're gonna go backpacking. So some of us still do this. Most people don't, but backpacking involves putting a backpack on and walking into the woods, right? And pretty much you carry everything with you need. That's the plan. So I'm going to put my backpack on, take my family. We're going to go camping. We're going to walk into the woods, probably not very far. My kids aren't into super far distances, although they're older now and could do it easy. But when they were young, they were resistant to going more than about 3 or 4 miles. So we would go in, find a clear spot, and we would always choose an area where there's water nearby, maybe a lake, maybe some berries nearby. So blueberries are big in the forest at a certain time of year. Hopefully there's fish in the lake because when we go backpacking, we take the kind of bare necessities. We don't like to take food because food is packaged. If we do take food, it would be food that we dehydrated and doesn't have any packaging. And we always did take some because kids get hungry and I get hungry. So we're going to go in, we're going to find a clear piece of land that's naturally existing in the woods, pitch our tent, probably build a fire. We will definitely scavenge for some food. So we'll go pick some blueberries or huckleberries. Or there's other berries you can pick. My wife's the pro at that, not me. We'll definitely get some mushrooms, maybe some shiitake or chanterelles. And then we'll do some fishing and hopefully catch a fish or 2. We'll cook that all up, make it into a soup, eat it up for dinner, right? If we have any waste from that, we'll return that waste to the ground. If there's any waste from us, we will return that waste to the ground. We'll get a good night's sleep out under the stars. It's usually fun, lots of bugs. And then the next day we'll either do it again or we'll pack it up and we'll absolutely take everything out. There will be no trace of us when we're gone. That, in my mind, is like the layman's term of sustainability. If we lived that way, water systems would not be impacted. Food sources would not be impacted. The air quality would remain the same. The amount of energy we consume would be the amount of energy we could gather or collect from the sun, just heating, right? Thermal heating from the sun. It is how the Native Americans lived way back. Let's go generations back, many generations back. They ate what they needed. They preserved what they needed. They followed the food. They absolutely picked everything up when they moved and set it all back down. It was a complete sustainable environment. The planet was not heating or cooling due to human impact. The water was clean. Nothing was changing due to human impact. The air was clean. There was no collection of waste to deal with. So those environmental problems didn't exist. That is sustainability. Okay. Back to the slide. Show. Here is their great law. This is from Native American tribes, and it is currently their great law. It says, in our every deliberation, we must consider the impact of our decisions on the next 7 generations. So not the next generations. I don't want to leave the planet as good as it is right now for my kids, but I want to leave it as good as it is right now. Same air quality, same water quality, same land use ability, same ability to grow agriculture, same ocean that is dealing with our carbon. All of that the same for the next 7 generations. That's my kids, my kids' kids, my kids' kids' kids, my kids' 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 kids'. Now I'm going for 7. My kids' 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 kids. The same for them. If we look at our current systems, that's not happening. Sustainability works its way towards that happening. We want to get there. It's an incredible target, but that's what we want. All right. Now this slideshow kind of goes into what carbon is and the carbon cycle. I'm not going to do that yet. I really just wanted to talk about sustainability. I want you to deep dive into it as much as you can. You know, look at the resource I gave you. Look at the resources that you found on your own, and then post up your thoughts on it. Like, what is it to you? What is sustainability? Don't just use mine. Don't use one from the videos you watched. Create your own definition of sustainability. And then this term, we're going to work towards making that happen in our own lives and in this class. So it is going to be fun. All right, that's it. I'm going to keep these very short. That's all I have. Have a great weekend. Watch the MSU video, post about it, find your own video, post about it. If you have any questions for me, reach out and I will try to answer those questions. Have a great weekend.